As we begin March 2023, the Toronto real estate market and the GTA real estate market continues to fascinate us, but some things should not be surprising. In today's video, we're going to cover the latest numbers in terms of the Toronto real estate market report and GTA real estate market report as of February 2023. Go through all the key trends, the key facts, the major themes, what you should know if you're a buyer, seller, and so much more. So let's not waste any time. Let's get to the video. Hello everyone, this is Sam from SaberiSixRealEstate and Remax Realtron Realty Inc. As always, back with another video for you guys here today. In today's video, we're gonna go through some of the more major numbers, but before we get into that, if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Sam, a Toronto real estate agent, working with buyers, working with sellers across the GTA. On this channel, I like to discuss everything Toronto real estate market oriented, market stats, market trends, market facts, building reviews, buyer advice, seller advice, area analysis, tenancy laws, pre-construction previews, and so much more. So feel free to subscribe if you find this type of content informative and entertaining. Lastly, you can find my contact information on the screen and in the description box. Feel free to reach out with any questions you guys may have resulting from this video or any general inquiries with regards to the Toronto real estate market. The TRREB Resale Market Report just came out for the month of February in 2023. So now we have the complete month to look back at. At the time of recording of this video, it is March 3rd, so only 3 days into March. And there are a lot of things to discuss. February was a very interesting month. In some ways predictable, in some ways not so much, and it's very informative. Let's start with the most general stat and probably what most people are interested about, which is the average price across all property types, across all areas within the Greater Toronto area. And we see nearly an 18% drop in average sold prices year over year, February of 2023 versus February of 2022. Right now, the average sold price across all property types, across all areas within the Greater Toronto area is $1,095,000. This represents a 18% drop year over year from the high and really truly alarming number of $1,334,000 that we were just looking at for an average in February of 2022. This 18% drop is not surprising whatsoever. February of 2022, for those who were watching this channel at the time, was a very hot and vibrant market. And since then, I have been discussing month by month, week by week, day by day, the trends of the Toronto real estate market. Of course, as interest rates started to increase, the market started to cool. February of 2022 was truly the peak market of the Toronto real estate market. Obviously, when we break it down by property type, certain property types saw their true peak in March. Namely, here we're referring to condominiums, but for most property types and on most fronts, February was really the highest, most peak point. And since then, obviously, due to the increase in interest rates, the market started to obviously gradually cool with every consecutive interest rate hike into the summer, into the end of 2022. Now we're looking at obviously a year over year drop as implicated here, but month over month, things have picked up. Now we're comparing February of 2023 to January of 2023. Because when we look at January 2023, the average sold price across all property types was $1,035,000. So $60,000 less in total value than this $1,095,000 figure we're looking at for February. So prices have clearly climbed back up compared to January of 2023 on a month over month basis. Of course, this is in some ways seasonal, but let me tell you why this is important. Because a lot of Toronto real estate and GTA real estate pessimists and skeptics had predicted by this point we would see like a 30-40% drop in prices. And at some point we did see a 20% drop in prices back in 2022. But now that the market has started to creep back up, not only month over month as we see here, but really truly compared to December and November as well, clearly we're nowhere near a 30-40% drop that people predicted, especially across all areas and all property types. There are certain buildings, for instance, and there are certain streets, for instance, where we do see that 50% drop for two comparable properties compared to peak market. I have covered that on a constant basis on my other social media platforms and on YouTube as well. But this clearly shows that a lot of Toronto real estate bears, for lack of a better word, their wildest dreams have not come to fruition yet. Now, of course, a lot of people will say, just wait for the spring, just wait for the summer. You're gonna see that 50% drop. And guess what? I am not a bull either. As I covered in one of my most recent videos, I think we're gonna be trading in a sideways market for a long time. That means keeping balance, holding water around these ranges. I don't think prices are gonna keep creeping up either. At the same time, clearly, according to February, seasonal it may be, it's already disproved a lot of predictions made by the ample amount of real estate skeptics out there, assuming we would be looking at average prices below $1 million, below $900,000. And that might sound ridiculous, but a lot of people were making those predictions a year out and after the first interest rate hikes. And sales are down substantially as well. We're looking at a 40% drop in total sales across the month of February, across all property types across the GTA, because total sales have dropped from 9,000 in February of 2022 to 4,700 in February of 2023. Now, this is not necessarily a product of just a cooler market. It is partially a result of a cooler market. There's no doubt about it. But by all metrics, February has been the strongest month within the Toronto real estate market, really since mid-2022. So what is it also a result of? Well, it's also a result of low inventory, as we will cover. Inventory is still low, although it's increasing. Once again, when you break it down community by community, neighborhood by neighborhood, property type by property type, the results differ. But overall, inventory has been increasing a tiny bit, but nothing to satiate the desire that still exists in terms of buyer demand out there. And speaking on which, let's go to the inventory. And here we clearly see that in terms of new inventory, in terms of new homes coming onto the market within the Toronto real estate market, within the GTA real estate market, we see yet another 40% drop. This time we see a drop from 14,000 total new listings in February of 2022 to now a total of 8,367 new listings in February of 2023. So this goes further to the point that the market is a low inventory market. That's why this uptick in prices, this uptick in buyer demand that I've been covering for the last couple of videos, and this uptick in prices, not just overall in general, but when broken down by property type, by area as well, we see it, has to do with low inventory. Low inventory is a major cause of this uptick. I would venture to guess to say that if we were not dealing with the low inventory we're dealing with now, we would still probably see a creep back up, but not to this extent that we're seeing in February. Once again, keep in mind, when I say creep back up or prices have gone up, I'm saying February compared to January and February compared to November and December of 2022. Now, as aforementioned, new listings have improved. Inventory has improved marginally on a month-over-month basis, because right now we see obviously year over year it's significantly down, as I just covered, but on a month-over-month basis, we see that in January the total number of new listings was 7,688. Once again, here in February we're looking at 8,300. So things have improved in terms of inventory as aforementioned, but just not at the speed at which a lot of buyers would like to see. And that is the buying dilemma in today's market. Due to the most recent conditional pause on interest rates as announced by the Bank of Canada, and really put an emphasis on conditional here, a lot of buyers started actively looking. This in conjunction with the fact that a lot of buyers had already put off buying plans to the start of 2023, assuming prices will be down much further than they actually are, although once again they're down a healthy amount, like 17% is nothing to sneeze at. Add on to that low inventory, well, of course, there's no surprise once again why we're seeing an uptick on the market. As always, on this channel, I don't just go based upon the numbers. I go based upon my everyday experience working with Toronto buyers and Toronto sellers. I see on the selling side the properties I have sold and the properties I'm bringing onto the market just in these last 2 months, but particularly February, we saw a lot of demand for our properties. When we listed the properties, we got 50 to 60 showings within a matter of 3-4 days. And as I've covered in my most recent videos, you guys are probably tired of me saying this, but we got multiple offers for those properties. We weren't really even attempting a bidding war. At the same time though, a lot of bidding wars are falling apart, as I had covered in other videos. So really, the actual truth of the matter is very nuanced, right? A lot of bidding wars are failing. Properties are, though, receiving multiple offers. That doesn't mean they're selling for peak prices. Often they're actually selling far lower than peak and far lower than, in some instances, summer of 2022. But at the same time, it is absolutely undeniable that buyer demand has picked up. Market activity has picked up. Similarly, on the buyer's side, because I've been working with a lot of buyers as well, the properties we're viewing, well, I see a lot more business cards there. I see a lot more showings in terms of competition for my buyers. I just purchased something for a buyer of mine. However, this was after multiple other properties wherein we were dealing with other offers, upwards of 6-7 offers, and we just decided to back out because we did not want to keep increasing the price or going firm when there was no need to go firm. So much like how I said on the selling side, from my experience, I have seen the market pick up, not just by the numbers, so have I seen it on the buying side as well. This extends all the way from downtown Toronto for condos to, as I said, detached in Oshawa, and I'm working with Mississauga buyers as well, and I'm seeing it there too. It is still a far cry from where it was, though, in most of 2022, so keep that in mind. And another item to look at to determine that it is still a far cry from where we were in February of 2022, and really, most of 2022, once again, with the absolute exception of end of 2022, is the days on market metric. Here we see an increase of 200% in terms of days on market. The average days a given property has stayed on market within the Toronto real estate market in February of 2023. It is up 200%. That is, I've never seen a number that high for this metric. I've honestly never seen a number this high for this metric. Now, as I covered in my January monthly report, I'll say the same thing here again. The February 2022 number is a little misleading because the days on market back then was more so determined by the bidding strategy that was really rampant and had a far higher success rate than it has now. Now, as I said previously in the video, we're looking at a 50% success rate, give or take. Back in February of 2022, January of 2022, we were looking at an 80% success rate, 90% success rate to the number of and that did contribute to the fact that days on market was so low, because with the bidding strategy, you're often putting the property on market for only 7, 8, maximum 10 days. And that's going to be reflected in the days on market metric, undoubtedly. So the next major item we have to take a look at and is forthcoming is the March 8th announcement in terms of interest rates. What's going to happen on March 8th? Obviously, no one really knows. No one can predict the future. If someone is out there confidently telling you the Bank of Canada is going to do this, the Bank of Canada is going to do that, I would ignore them. We can only do our best to project and make educated guesses. And that's what exactly I'm going to do here, is make an educated guess. And my educated guess is that on March 8th, we're either going to continue the pause that we're currently on, as previously stated, this conditional pause, or we might see a slight increase in terms of 25 basis points. Some people are predicting a rate cut. I don't believe that's going to be the case. In fact, if someone is out there saying a rate cut, give them the benefit of the doubt, but for the most part, I would be ignoring what they say, because right now inflation is still way too high, and I don't think March 8th we're going to be looking at a rate cut by any means, but most certainly a continuation of the pause or a slight increase. But once again, no one really knows for a fact. But that is going to be a key determining factor into how we go into the spring market. If the conditional pause is continued into the March 8th announcement, by the time you're watching this, it might have already occurred. Whatever has occurred, I foresee conditions in the market keeping level with what they currently are, or increasing a bit more. Once again, I really want to be careful to emphasize that I don't think prices are going to explode again. It's not to the moon. There is no rocket ship. So do not buy into any type of FOMO. I do believe for the most part we are looking at a sideways market, but the chances of the market increasing with a continuing pause on March 8th is higher. And those are the conversations I'm having with my seller clients. I'm looking to bring on a couple of properties onto the market in the next couple of weeks, mainly condos, one in North York around the Shepherd Leslie area, and one around the Yonge and Steeles area. And these are the exact conversations I'm having with sellers on the ground. Anyways, that is it for today's report and today's video. As always, this is Sam from SaberiSixRealEstate, RE/MAX Realtor Realty Inc. Thank you very much, sir, for watching. Stay safe and stay tuned. Thank you.